very quick workshop tonight called Friendlies. Now tonight, again, every week we're going to be kind of doing some live exercise in class. So what we're going to do tonight is we're going to talk about finding the people that you already know. Now all of you have people in your communities, in your networks, in your circles that you can already do. Now the reality is that there's people that are friendlies that will agree to an interview just if you ask. Now what I mean by that is if you send someone a text message, a Facebook message, or whatever it is, and simply say the following thing: I'm working on a book, could you spend 15 minutes and talk about it? If they would respond and say yes, right away, without even asking you what the book's about, they're friendly. Now if they're gonna need a lot of more information, like tell me what the book's about, I'm not sure if I'm the fit for it, they're not a friendly. So the simple case here is if they say like, hey, I'm working on a book, I'd love to talk to you, could you talk about it? And they say yes right away without saying this anything, then great. If there's someone who wants a lot of explanation, what's it about, can you write me a summary? Just put it aside, they're not a friendly. Friendlies are again people who are going to help you in these ways. So these are the two sorts of messages. Can I interview for a book that I'm working on, number one, or number two, I'm writing a book, can you chat about it with me next week? Again, these are people who are typically going to engage with you via text message, Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp, or something similar. Quick messages that are going to happen that way. So the core thing I want you to do is I want you to find friendlies. I want you to spend the next 5 or so minutes actually building a list. These are people that are either you already know because they're related to them, you've had class with them, but the most important defining feature is that you can reach them immediately without having to send an email, right? If you have to send an email, you're probably not that close to them, right? Like, it's just the truth, right? You're probably like sort of okay, but you're not really close if you have to find some email. Now, sometimes, like your Uncle Fred may not be someone that you know other than just like emails, but okay, like maybe that's fine, but for most people, you want to be able to understand that if you send them something, well, they get your response within about an hour, right? Like that's kind of what these messagings do. So find those people. They may not be perfect for your book, but they may be someone who's just helpful in that way. And they may not be the person who you're going to include their interview in the book, but they may be people that are going to be ones that will say, hey, listen, like I know someone else who could be helpful. So think of them as people who are going to help you hone your interview skills. And number two, lead you to the next person. That's kind of the goal behind it. So tonight what I want you to start to do is actually build that list. I want you to build that list. And again, as you've seen sort of in the idea that we've got in that sort of content index that we've got, the list of people, start to add those names of people that you might think, all right? Find people, go through your LinkedIn, see who you know, look who you follow on Twitter, look who you have on Facebook, just go through it. In fact, one of the best things you can do is pull out your phone and just scroll through your last 30 or so text messages. Just see. Again, these are helpful people who will just be nice to talk to, and what'll happen to you is you'll realize that like, okay, like I can do this one. So don't stress too much about it. But what I want you to do right now is I want you to pull out your phones and I want you to send 3 to 6 messages in the next 5 minutes. All that has to be is send something like that. It just has to do this. Like I want you to, this is the message. Can I interview for my book? Right? That's all. Or I'm writing a book. Can we chat about it in the next week? All right? So just take the next 5 minutes and I want you all to send 3 to 6 messages. Don't overthink it. These are just going to be helpful conversations. Again, certainly one of them can be your parents. If your mom responds back and she's like, well, I might, but I want to know what it's about yet, maybe that says something about your relationship with your mother. I don't know. Now here's the important thing. When people respond to you, I want you to make sure that you tell them, awesome, can we schedule this for next week? All right, don't schedule for this week, schedule it after next Monday's class so we can talk about how to actually do these interviews. But I want you to send 3 to 6 messages right now to people that you think would just be interesting for a friendly conversation. Great people can be parents, relatives, former coworkers, former bosses, people that you've worked with, people that you go to class with. Who are people that you think just might be helpful for you, early conversations about your book? Ever had a professor tell you to text people during class? This might be the craziest thing ever.